Most aspiring authors think that publishing is all about writing a great book, but it is not. A great book definitely helps, but publishing is about positioning of your book, the marketability, the audience psychology, the timing, and the business leverage. And that's why so many talented writers never get proper attention or proper sales while average books just explode the whole market. And today, I want to walk you through the biggest things aspiring authors misunderstand about publishing. And I also want to talk about why understanding these realities early can save you years of frustration. If you have ever thought that why do bad books become bestsellers, or do I need social media? Why won't agents respond often? Or what is the difference between self publishing or traditional publishing? Then this video is for you because the publishing world works very different from how most writers imagine it does. I can say that because I have over a decade of writing and publishing experience. I've written for multiple websites. I've published three books and have another two in the series. And I hold workshops on topic Transform Your Pain to Prose in collaboration with the English Bookshop in Sweden. So, let's talk about the realities to understand the publishing world. The first thing aspiring authors don't understand is that publishing companies are not looking for the best books. They are looking for the books they believe they can sell. And yes, this is a hard truth, but it changes everything once you accept it. With the evolution of social media, many things have changed in the publishing industry. Books are definitely piece of art, but they are also products. And publishing industry or publishing company is investing money into it. I must specify that I am right now focusing on the traditional publishing companies because they are investing money into editing, cover designing, printing, marketing, distribution, and in their sales team, and they are the ones taking financial risk. So, when an agent or a publisher rejects a manuscript, they are usually not saying that your writing is terrible. They often say that I don't know how to sell your work. And these are two different things. A beautifully written literary novel about grief and silence might lose out to a fast paced romantic novel because one has a clear commercial audience. And that's not fair, but that's how market economics works. The next thing I am going to say is the hardest pill for many writers to swallow. Readers do not buy books based purely on the prose quality. They buy based on the emotional payoff, curiosity, identity, the relevance, and the trend alignment. And that's why some books with average writing just dominate the market because readers are asking, does this book make me feel something I want to feel? Many aspiring authors spend years polishing sentences while completely ignoring the pacing, the hook, the premise strength, or the genre expectations, or even reader psychology. While publishing rewards books that people finish and recommend, and not the books that writers admire in their workshops. This brings me to another important aspect that many aspiring authors need to understand about publishing. They need to know which genre they want to write. Yes, genre matters more than writers want to admit. A lot of aspiring authors say that I don't want my book to be boxed into a genre. But genres are how readers find your books. It is like a library where everything is tagged according to a category. So, genre is not a limitation, it is actually a discovery tool. And reader wants signals. They want to know what emotional experience they are going to get. What kind of story would it be? What promises this book makes? So, if your book is a part memoir, part fantasy, part philosophical fiction, or part political satire, then they could sound entirely exciting. But from a publishing standpoint, it creates a marketing problem, and confusing books are hard to sell. The more clearly your book is positioned, it gets easy to market. This also brings me to another important aspect. If your book is part memoir, part fantasy, part philosophical fiction, then it may sound creatively exciting, but in the minds of reader, it creates confusion. And same happens from publishing point of view. It creates a marketing problem and confusing because now it is hard to sell. The more clearly positioned your book is, the easier it becomes to market. This also brings me to another important aspect of you to understand that traditional publishing is extremely slow. Most aspiring authors underestimate how slow traditional publishing really is. You finish a manuscript, and after that, you realize the number of steps still pending to make your manuscript into a finished book. You write to the query agents, which can take months or years. You revise your manuscript based on the feedback. You submit the manuscript again, and the publisher takes months to revert back. And then you reach to a point where signing of documents might take months. Finally comes the point of production, which can take another year or more. A book that has been accepted today might not even release for next 2 years, and sometimes it takes longer than that. Meanwhile, social media makes people think that publishing happens overnight. It usually doesn't. I had a coaching client last year who wanted to write a book on AI and wanted to have a traditional publishing route. I had to really set his expectations right that the book will come after 1.5 or 2 years. It was quite tough for him to accept, and he started exploring self publishing options. Right now, he's still trying to get the book traditionally published, but it's taking usual than what he thought. So, what I mean to say is that aspiring authors expect momentum. Instead, they have to encounter waiting and constant waiting. As a writer over a decade, I have seen many changes happening in the publishing industry. And one important change that has happened is that social media is not an optional anymore. If you are a person who is uncomfortable with social media, then it is the time either you think about writing or you start making yourself comfortable with social media, because traditional publishers now check how many followers do you have on multiple social medias. This makes their job easier because now traditional publishers think that it's an equal job for writer and publisher to market their work. So this can upset many writers, but platform matters a lot, especially for non-fiction authors. Publishers increasingly ask, do you have an audience? Do people already listen to you? Can you help market the book? Because discoverability is harder than ever. There are so many writers these days, and there are so many books that are coming in the market every day. The visibility of an author counts. In today's world, an author is often a writer, marketer, brand, content creator, and even a community builder. This is what I have been doing, and this is how I've been able to take my book to different stores and to different markets. Whether you like it or not, publishing has changed. At this point of time, I want to address a common misconception many aspiring authors carry with them. They feel that self publishing is an easy option, and they think that if traditional publishing rejects me, I will just go self publish my book by myself. But successful self publishing is its own skill set. You need cover design, you need formatting, you need to design ads, you need to understand the SEO optimization, you need to understand your target audience, you need to learn how to use email marketing and even define your launch strategies. The successful indie authors are usually very entrepreneurial. They have a business mindset, and some make far more money than their traditional published authors. Then they treat publishing like a business and not a hobby. They want to create a market for them to get more clients, and that's why they invest so much into self publishing. Self publishing definitely gives you control, but it also gives you responsibility. As a book writing coach, it is my responsibility to tell you that if you are thinking that the moment your book is launched and you will become a best bookseller, then let's come back to the reality. Most books sell very few copies. This is something almost nobody talks about openly. On social media, you see posts and all the clips that authors have been able to sell thousands of copies because they spend a lot on marketing. And those are a few authors. Most books do not sell thousands of copies, and many traditional published books sell only few thousand. Some sell far less. That doesn't mean that the author has failed, but the expectations an online platform has is totally distorted. Social media shows bestsellers, viral launches, massive advances, and movie deals. You rarely see the silent middle, but I get to see so many authors in my author group who have brilliant books, but they sit with few number of copies. Publishing success is usually gradual, it's not explosive. You have to write 2 to 3 books to start selling your books and maybe make it a regular flow of income, but not as a full flow of your income. It takes years to establish yourself as a writer and to have a full income coming from your books. So, my friend, I want you to understand that your first book probably won't be your breakthrough. Most successful authors were not discovered instantly. They improved over time. They learned audience positioning, storytelling, pacing, branding, and consistency. Sometimes the overnight success was actually book number 5, or maybe after 10 years of work. Your early books are often your training grounds, and that's normal. Publishing careers are usually marathons and they are not like lottery tickets. The real advantage in writing is your persistence. Talent definitely matters, but persistence matters more than most people realize. The long cycle of publishing actually filters people through the discouragement, the rejection, silence, slow progress, low sales, comparison. The writers who survive long enough to improve dramatically outperform writers who were initially more talented. Consistency, like finance and savings, compounds in publishing also. So, here is the truth: publishing is not just about writing well, it is about understanding your readers, learning the market, understanding the positioning of your book, understanding how to gain attention, and developing endurance. The good news: most aspiring authors never learn these things, which means if you do understand them, you already have an advantage. Write better books, but also learn the business because publishing rewards writers who can do both. If you are thinking of hiring me as a book writing coach, then write to me. Let's discuss more about your project and make it into a book that sells. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment about the biggest publishing misconception you ever had, or if you have any query about the publishing of your book, please put it in the comments. I reply to every comment that I read. And please share this video with another author who needs to hear it. Thanks for watching this video. I will see you in next one. Keep shining and smiling.